better cock your pistols.
CJ, how do I look?
Houston, for the 47th time, you look wonderful.
Are you sure?
Houston, I realize that you haven't seen her since you were 13 and you want to make a good impression.
Well, I want to make a great impression, CJ. I mean, that's why it's so important that it'll look good.
Well, Murray thinks you look great. The secretaries think you look great. The parking attendant that you asked thinks you look great. Trust me when I tell you, she'll think you look great.
Are you sure? CJ, do you think I'm going to be all right on the boat and all?
Houston, you're the one who's been saying that seasickness is a question of mind over matter.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking about that boat. I'm rocking back and forth in the hot sun.
Houston, the boat's going to be docked. You won't feel any motion at all inside the marina. Come on.
Yeah, well, CJ, see, I haven't seen Honey in a whole bunch of years, and I'd hate to do anything to embarrass her. Well, CJ, listen, take a look at this. What do you think?
I hope you have a wonderful time. Just go on up, get a drink, and make yourself at home.
Thank you, dear.
Boy.
Wholesome wench. Would share a tot of rum with a weary corsair.
Oh, no, thank you, Binky. I'm working, remember.
Oh, for God's sake, honey, don't be so boringly conscientious.
Well, it's very important to me that this party goes well.
How could it not? You're the best manager the club's ever had.
Thank you, Binky. But I'm afraid not everyone shares your opinion.
Rawson, Harmon, the four. Huh.
If he has his way, someone else will be sitting in my office.
Now, honey, there are others of us on the board. Don't you worry about him. Well, Richard, I'm surprised to see you made it.
Believe me, I wouldn't have missed this one for anything.
Dickie, darling, is he a producer, too?
No, baby. Binky here spends money. I make it. Binky, I want you to meet the next Bo Derricks, Andrea and Dorian.
Charmed, I'm sure.
They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed. Growl for the man, Andrea.
Growl.
I love talent.
I'll tell you, if I was back home and it was a hot day, I'd tell you what I'd go for, and that's a big, tall glass.
Of your mother's own ice-cold buttermilk. Houston! Houston, look at you, all grown up. Oh, honey, if I'd known you're going to turn out like this, I'd spend a lot more time with you.
Certainly would have filled an awful lot of lonely 13-year-old nights. This is C.J. Parson.
Lewis,
Hi, CJ.
time to get this thing started.
Right away, Mr. Harden.
This is a private party, mister. Members only.
This is Matt Houston, the detective I told you I was going to call.
The hired help usually goes to the business office. See that you do in the future.
I'm sorry, Houston.
No need to apologize for other people's rudeness, honey. Tell me something. You mean you looked me up after all these years just because you needed a detective?
Lewis!
I'm sorry. Here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could get your attention, please. We're gathered here today to honor the newly elected Commodore of the Southland Yacht Club.
Thank
This
you.
is either somebody's idea of a very bad joke or honey's in real trouble.
I shall accept this honor.
Guilty, 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 the avenging angels say. With justice swift like a serpent's fang, the first will die on a sunny day. Wonderful.
And to present him with his official Commodore's coat.
Does it bother you that it's a sunny day today?
It's a snake! Ah!
He's dead.
Got yourself one deadly snake with the Gaboon Viper. According to experts, still had enough poison to take out a few more people.
Vince, where did it come from?
Africa, originally. More recently, the zoo. Stolen just before dawn this morning.
Whoever it was didn't leave much time to tuck the snake in Commodore's coat.
This time there's a crazy need. I got a feeling that whoever wrote that Looney Tune letter would manage to make time. Houston, are you all right?
It's your swaying back and forth, Vince.
I'm not swaying.
Mr. Houston.
Yeah.
This is Lewis, the club manager. Should like to see you inside. Hey, you feeling okay?
Well, it's nothing that planting my feet on a little terra firma won't take care of.
Hey, Houston, ask her to stick around. I'm gonna need to talk to her when I'm finished here.
All right.
I hear the snake that offed old Harmon was from Africa.
That's right.
Far out.
You find African snakes amusing?
Well, I guess you'd say, just righteously just. Heck, I could tell you. You're just a PI, another working stiff. The dead guy, Rawson Harmon IV, he was a bourgeois pig. Fact is, most members around here are...
Yeah, listen, that's all very interesting, but I'll tell you, as one member of the oppressed proletariat to another, what the hell's it got to do with an African snake?
That's where he made most of his money, Africa. Made a fortune in diamond mines. Squeezing out of the sweat and lives of the oppressed workers. That's why I smiled. I mean, it just seems a little ironic after all those years of grinding people into the ground in Africa. Somebody from the ground in Africa killed him. I'll find Mrs. Lewis inside.
Do you get the impression he's been to one too many radical campus meetings?
Mm-hmm. Well, what bothers me is how do you know about the African snake? We didn't even know about that till Novelli told us.
No, Novelli didn't know about it till the zoo people told him.
Yeah, and that kid wasn't close enough to either the zoo people or Novelli to have heard anything about it. Honey?
Houston, would you like something to drink?
Not for me, thank you.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a busy day, but I would like to sit down.
Okay. Would you like some coffee?
Well, that'd be good.
Gary, 3 coffees, please. When I first called you was when I received that threatening note. I thought you could help.
Well, I'll tell you, the death of Rawson Harmon IV is now a police matter, unless I had a client, which I don't.
You do have a client. That is, if you'll take me. You see, Houston, I'm afraid the police are going to think I killed Harmon. We weren't exactly good friends.
Well, not getting along isn't exactly a classic motive for murder.
He was going to fire me. It wasn't a secret. The whole club knew. And if that wasn't good enough, you know the Commodore's jacket he was given today? It was kept in my office until this morning.
Any idea who might have put that snake in the jacket?
No, but you've got to see it's not going to look good for me when the police find out we didn't get along.
Honey, have you got any idea of who had access to your office between dawn and the time you got the jacket?
Binky Brabworth. He's the treasurer of the club, also publishes the club paper. He'd have a key to my office.
Anyone else?
I don't know. You know, this morning I came in early, and I thought I saw one of our club members leaving by the side door. But when I got inside, my office door was open, and I'm sure I locked it last night.
Which member?
I can't be certain, but I think it was Richard Bevac.
Dickie Bevac, the sleazo movie producer?
The membership committee of this club doesn't care where your money comes from, as long as you have plenty of it. Houston, what am I gonna do?
Well, I think you're gonna have to sit tight and answer all the questions that the police ask you, and we'll see what we can come up with, all right?
Thank you.
I can't tell you what a long time I've waited for that. I'll talk to you soon, huh?
Houston figured if we were going to help Honey, we better do some homework on some yacht club members. It ate up most of the rest of the day, and when we were through, we fed the results to Baby. Now, here we have the late and not too lamented Rawson Harmon IV. In fact, last week, he was elected Commodore of the club in a very close election.
One more. Thank you.
You see, CJ, if the man was that ornery, why do you suppose the club members voted him in as Commodore?
Well, he's a very powerful man who uses his influence to get what he wants. Which brings us to the point that he was the one who flew Honey out here about 6 months ago.
Yeah, it bothers me, CJ. I mean, he went to all the trouble to bring her out here, and then why did he suddenly decide to fire her?
I'll remind you to ask her. Richard Dickie Bevac.
That's the man that Honey said she saw leaving the club this morning.
You got it. Very successful producer. Exploitation films, low budget, high profits, and responsible for such winners as Killer Babies, Gnaw, and Cannibals from Planet Zero.
No. Like in Gnaw?
No.
Oh, come on, CJ, you're pulling my leg.
No. In fact, Cannibals from Planet Zero wasn't bad.
CJ, you have a very dark side that I don't believe I've ever seen before.
True. I'm saving it up for you. Now, Richard Bevac has always wanted to be Commodore of the club, and every year when someone puts him up for election, Harmon blackballs him. Now that Harmon's been elected, Bevac's out in the cold again.
You suppose being passed over as Commodore would be a motive for murder?
Well, not for most minds, but this is a mind that's come up with such classics as Killer Babies and Gnaw and...
A big Cannibal from Planet Zero with a zapping and...
You got it.
Yeah, who's next?
Carlton Binky Brabworth. His great-grandfather invented the thumbtack.
I always wondered who did that.
As you know, he also is responsible for publishing the Yacht Club newsletter.
Yeah, that's where you got all these pictures.
Your powers of deductive reasoning are brilliant, Houston.
DJ, we were talking about Mr. Brabworth.
Yes, we were. Now, he's not as rich as he would like you to believe. In fact, he gets his money from a trust fund that comes from municipal bonds, and he spends it faster than he can clip the coupons. He is also everyone's favorite gambler at any game.
You mean he loses?
Constantly. As a matter of fact, his biggest debt is Rawson Harmon.
Yeah, how big?
Texas big.
I think we better start with Mr. Brabworth.
Why him?
Well, I'll tell you something, CJ. It's because well, I've never met a man named Binky before.
Pinky. I want you to meet the next Bo Derricks, Lucy and Tanya. They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed.
How nice.
You take the tiller, you hoist the mainsail.
Brentworth, I'm Matt Houston.
Oh, Mr. Houston, it's a pleasure. Yeah, honey mentioned you might be around. Won't you sit down?
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry about all this litter. Municipal bonds. See, I have to clip off these coupons every 3 months and take them down to Chase Manhattan and cash them.
Well, it's a lousy job, but somebody's got to do it, huh?
And then there's all this preparation for the shipwreck party.
Well, listen, Mr. Brabworth.
Binky.
Binky.
I hope you'll excuse me, but I have to finish clipping these things. If I don't do it...
Yeah, I know, it just won't get done. No, you go right ahead. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about Rawson Harmon IV.
A boor. Took himself much too seriously.
Yeah, well, what exactly was your relationship with him?
Adversary. He voted against me in every board meeting.
Well, what about outside the boardroom?
Well, we really didn't have that much in common.
Played cards with him?
Yes.
Lost?
Sometimes.
Often?
I'm not a very good card player.
Yeah, well, you owed him quite a bit of money, didn't you?
Nothing I couldn't repay, Houston.
Yeah, well, maybe you just couldn't repay it as quick as he wanted you to, huh?
Mr. Houston, yes, I had a motive. Anyone who knew Harmon had a motive. He wasn't a very pleasant man. Houston, have you spoken with Jeb? A particularly interesting person. Jeb. He loves his mother a lot. Very protective of her. Obsessed, almost.
Well, I love my mother a lot, too.
Your mother isn't Honey Lewis.
Confirms the merger for the electronics firm. And here are the papers for the new clothing firm.
Right? Looks like we've got our first customer. Houston, what happened to you?
Somebody tried to set fire out at the yacht club.
What?
With a flare. See, CJ, you had to be there. Listen, I want you to get Honey on the phone for me right away.
I'll do better than that. She's right here.
I want to talk to you, Honey, about your son, Jeb.
Oh, Houston, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you about Jeb because I didn't want to involve him. He has nothing to do with this.
Honey, it seems to me like there's an awful lot that you're not telling me about, like the fact that Rawson Harmon was the one who brought you out here to California in the first place.
I didn't think it was important.
Honey, rumor has it that I'm the detective around here, so why don't you let me decide what's important and what's not, all right? Is that a deal?
Deal.
Good. Now let's talk about Jeb.
I was married, secretly, when I was in college back in Texas. When Jeb was born, his father disappeared. I never saw him again. And that's when I moved to New York.
Now, that brings us to Rawson Harmon, the dead man. Now, honey, what exactly was your relationship with him?
Oh, it isn't what you're thinking. Yes, we had an affair, but that was a long time ago. And we've remained good friends ever since.
Is that why you got the job at the yacht club?
Yes, when the job opened up, he called me. And he asked me if I would come out and help manage the club.
And just 6 months later, he decided to fire you. Now, what is going on?
Look, Houston, I take my job very seriously. Maybe he didn't count on that. He was used to running things. But the members started to turn to me. He could not stand not being the center of attention. He was jealous.
How do you get along with your son?
Can't we leave Jeb out of this?
No, we cannot leave Jeb out of this. Now, somebody took a shot at me at the yacht club.
But, Houston, you don't think that... Listen, Jeb is a good son. He's a good boy.
Honey, is there any way? I mean, did he know Harmon was going to fire you?
Oh, yes. But... Look, Houston, maybe I was wrong about this. It was a mistake to get you involved.
Damn it, honey, I am involved in this. Now, somebody is trying to kill me, and I am not going to back off this case till I find out who it is.
You know, you always were stubborn as hell.
That's right, and you always were...
Sweet as honey.
Yeah. Yeah, you were. Hello there. You got a minute to talk to another oppressed member of the working class?
Yeah, sure. Come on aboard.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about Harmon.
That bourgeois pig?
Yeah, well, you'd mentioned that.
Working people everywhere can breathe a sigh of relief now that he's history.
You were working people like your mother?
My mother? What does she have to do with this?
Well, you knew Harmon was going to fire her, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. And it was so typical. I mean, she's the best, man. The best at everything. Before she took over as manager of the club, it was nothing but a capitalist garbage heap. And as soon as she got things running right, that pig wanted to dump her.
Well, I know how much the job meant to your mother, and I know you care an awful lot about her, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Wait a minute. You're not trying to say I off Tom. Forget it.
Got any idea who might have?
Harmon wasn't what you'd call Mr. Sunshine. A lot of folks hated that creep.
Who hated him the most?
No contest. Mr. Hollyweird himself, Dickie Bevac.
Yeah, because Harmon kept bumping Bevac for Commodore, huh?
Wake up, man. Capitalist power brokers only kill one another for one reason. Cold, hard cash. I heard the two of them arguing in the bar. Harmon was gonna call in all his loans to Bevac's movie company.
Yeah, and Bevac was none too happy about it, right?
Offered to make him the victim in his next slasher movie. Tell me something, man. I found out a little bit about you. Big Texas millionaire. How many millions of dollars have you wrung from the sweating backs of the working man?
Hopefully none. See, I try and treat everybody fairly.
How? By hoarding millions of dollars that really belong to the people?
No, you see, by treating them all like human beings. I don't prejudge them or pre-label them. You really ought to try it sometime.
Hey, Houston, are you hungry? I'm really hungry. Why don't you stay for lunch? I got some sardines here.
No, thanks. I'll take a rate check.
I got some beans, too. I could heat them up in the galley.
No, thanks. I better be running along.
Oh, come on, Houston. Why don't you stay for lunch?
No, das vidanya, comrade.
Well, hello there. Hi.
Hi. Sorry I dropped in on you like this.
Anytime.
Yeah, but I probably ought to be going.
Hi. What's your hurry? Yeah, why don't you stick around? Maybe you can rub some lotion on our backs. And fronts.
Fronts. I could probably do that, yeah. Yeah, listen, I gotta run.
Almost getting killed tends to make Houston a mite irritable. He figured it was time to meet the producer, Richard Bevac. When we couldn't get an appointment, Houston decided we should make one for ourselves. The only thing I could find out about Bevac was that he was off making a movie somewhere on those 5 acres he calls his backyard.
I wonder what he's gonna call this. Onslaught of the Goons?
Can we help you? Your name, please?
This is Miss Pleasure Fox. She's gonna be in Mr. Bevac's next picture.
The Space Vixen.
That's right. My name's Guy Amarillo. I'm Miss Pleasure Fox's personal manager. We have an appointment with Dickie.
What's wrong, Andy?
Guy says he's Amarillo Slim or someone. Lady says she's Pleasure Fox in your next movie.
Pleasure Fox.
Yeah, this is a little foolish to go on with it. My name's Matt Houston. This is C.J. Parsons, my associate.
Mr. Houston, I've heard about you, but nobody told me about the lady. Let them in, Andy. I like creative gate crashers and beautiful women.
Thank you, Mr. Bevac.
You're Houston's associate?
Yes, I am.
You're really not an actress.
No, no.
All this beauty going to waste in some crummy detective agency.
It's not really crummy. It's kind of nice. Actually, it's well lit.
Well, we'll have to fix that.
Well, no, it's got a great view. You can see the whole town.
How about a screen test?
A screen test?
Excuse me, please. Before you make my associate a superstar here, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Is this all he does? Ask people questions?
Well, it is something he likes to do. Humor him.
Coffee?
I'd love some.
No, thank you.
I'm just fine.
Okay, Houston, for her. But make it short. I've got a meeting with my bankers.
Running a little low on cash, are we?
Not a chance. My last 10 pictures made a fortune. I've got development deals going all over town.
Oh, that's funny. That's not what I heard.
What did you hear?
Well, I heard that your last 10 pictures lost money. They didn't make money at all. And Ross and Harmon's your banker, and if he calls in his loans, you're gonna make him the next victim in your slasher movie.
That's a lie. I'm telling you, my financial standings are as solid as a rock.
Are they? Well, you see, because I've been asking a lot of questions in all the financial circles around town, you see, and the word is that you're up to your eyeballs in debt, and that there's not a major studio in town that'll let you on the lot, let alone do business with you.
You're a nosy man, Houston. You should know by now, being nosy can be very dangerous. The interview, if you haven't guessed, is over.
Man's got a temper.
Sure does. By the way, when did you have time to ask questions in all the right financial circles?
No, I didn't really have time, and I won't until I get a chance to call Murray, but I don't think we need to after seeing Mr. Bevac's reaction here. I know, fellas, it's time to go. Screen test, huh? ladies?
Houston, I need you, John Henry.
Well, I'll even give you my John Hancock. I'm in a great mood. Got good news.
That's good, because I've got bad.
Well, hopefully the two will balance each other out. Shoot, CJ.
Houston, I checked out those Texas files like you asked, and Honey lied to you. She was never married. But Jeb's birth certificate tells who the real father is. It's the dead man, Rawson Harmon IV.
Oh, God. CJ, if Jeb found out about that, or if he saw Harmon treating his mother the way he...
Or if Jeb didn't know, and Honey was afraid that Harmon was going to tell him.
Two good motives for murder.
Well, what was the good news?
The good news is that our suspicions were right. BVAC is on the brink of bankruptcy.
Well, that's 3 motives, not to mention your poker-playing, coupon-clipping bingy. That's 4 motives.
Just when I thought it was getting simple, CJ. Houston. Honey, just stay there, all right? I'll be there in 20 minutes. Honey just got another threatening letter. First of the guilty has already died in a most unpleasant way, but Harmon was lucky compared to the victim who will go on shipwreck day.
The shipwreck party's tomorrow. Houston, whoever's writing these notes and killing people has to be insane.
And maybe that's just what he or she wants us to believe. I mean, come on, think about it. These death threats, they sound like they're from one of those cheap mystery thrillers, you know, the kind you used to read.
Are you accusing me?
It's just a thought, honey. I'm thinking out loud. And I know you're gonna love my next thought.
Houston, you don't think that Jeb...
What am I supposed to think? He's the only one I know who could kill at random. I mean, the boy's got a chip on his shoulder. He's always going around singing the oppressed bourgeois pigs and all of that.
Houston, Jeb had nothing to do with this murder. You've got to believe me. He's my son. I know.
Jesse James had a mother, too.
Houston, I'm warning you. Leave Jeb out of this. As a matter of fact, you can drop the whole case. You're fired, Houston. And you can leave now.
I'm not going anywhere, honey, till I find myself a killer.
Well, follow me, because I got a court order to search the killer's locker. This one, Cal. When you open this locker, we'll find our killer.
Should be a pretty small fella, man.
Houston, don't be funny. That's Jeb's locker.
We found a partial fingerprint on a button inside the Commodore's coat that Harmon put on. You want to bet that's the typewriter that typed the death threat?
Well, anyone could have planted it there. It doesn't mean anything.
I killed him, and I'm proud of it. I'd kill him again. Nothing but a leech, sucking the lifeblood out of society.
Houston, Jeb didn't kill anybody. I killed Harmon.
Don't listen to her. I killed him, Houston.
Listen to me. I killed him.
You know, most of the time I have enough trouble finding one killer.
Yeah, now you got 2, Vince.
Well, obviously, they both confessed to protect the other.
Come on, the kid is the killer. The stuff we found in his locker, the fingerprints, his radical political views, it all points to him. You have doubts?
I have doubts, Vince. I mean, it does not make sense. Think about it. I mean, it's not clean. It stinks, Vince, and it's not Mama's cooking.
Come, what's this about my cooking?
No, Mama. Houston was just saying how hungry he is.
Ah, good, because dinner is ready.
Boy, I can't wait.
This is for you. CJ.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
It smells
È
good.
per voi.
Oh, that...
Ecco qua.
Mama, this looks like birdseed.
It is birdseed. What do you expect? The two of you come in here, you order a big meal, and then you talk about crime, murder, mayday. Ma fatemi piacere.
Mama, it's mayhem, Mama. Mayhem, murder and mayhem.
It sure is. It's gab. You never eat. You just peck at your plates like birds. So the two of you want to eat like birds? Avanti. This is your chance.
Mama, please, this is embarrassing. Could you please bring us some pasta?
If I do, will you eat the whole thing? You swear on the saints?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cross my heart.
CJ, Sentito, you're a witness, huh?
I swear, Mom.
Okay, figlio mio. I'll prepare you a dinner. Lasciate fare a me.
Well, anyhow, now that Jeb and Honey are in jail, we don't have to worry about the murder threat tomorrow, huh?
No, Vince, you're still not listening to me. I mean, it does not make sense. It's still too neat. I mean, I would swear on a stack of Bibles that I swear.
Houston, what is it?
Oh, wait a minute. Now, Mama said to Vince that she wanted him to swear on the saints, right? Vince, do you remember the first part of the first death threat?
Guilty, 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 the avenging angel
That's
sang.
it. You don't have to go any further. Now, if I am not mistaken, angel is the key word to this whole thing. Now, you still think it points in Jeb's direction, right?
Right.
I think we can safely assume that Honey would not frame her son for murder, right?
Sure. What's your point?
The point, Vince, is that Jeb could not be the killer. I mean, he fancies himself as one of those dyed-in-the-wool communists. Now, I will tell you something about communists. They feel very strongly about things that they believe in and things that they don't. What they don't believe in is God, saints.
Angels.
In other words, he would have never used that word.
In other words, the man we have in jail is not the killer, and if we don't find him...
He's gonna kill again tomorrow.
Talent, Freddie. We're in show business, too. Meet the next O'Derricks, Ty and Tanika. They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed. It is the Sam Spade. How's it going, Gumshoe?
Well, just dandy.
This party is by invitation only, and I hope you don't have one because I'd love to kick you out of here, too.
Temper, Dickie. I do have an invitation. Binky's holding on to it for me. You haven't seen him around anywhere, would you?
Yeah, I saw him just a moment ago. He's in the trophy room. It's at the end of the hall.
Hey, sir. Ladies.
Well, if I had another girl, I could be a juggler, too.
Houston, you know, if you were a club member, we would fine you for showing up at a theme party without a costume.
Why'd you kill Harmon, Binky? Because of the money you owed him?
Oh, don't be tedious, Houston. It's true I had a cash flow problem, but well, that's nothing one with proper breeding kills over.
Well, I'll tell you, I went to the Central Library, Binky. I got a microfilm of all your old newspapers. Yeah, all those old newspapers you used to handwrite and send out by the thousands to your mailing list. Yeah, it was something else. I had to go back several years. I spent a couple of hours in front of my computer before I found it.
Found what?
That the type matched. It matched your old newspapers. It matched the death threat notes. It matched the typewriter that you planted in Jeb's locker.
He was going to ruin me. First, he cheated me at cards. And then when I couldn't pay, he was going to have his bullies work me over.
Don't you put that away? I called Novelli and his boys. They're going to be here any minute. Don't do anything foolish, all right?
Foolish? There's nothing foolish about killing someone. I've had to do it once already to save my skin. And now, I am sorry, old fellow. I really sort of liked you. Let's go.
Jerk, not now!
Hi, Pinky! It's party time!
Hi, Gordy. Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Oh, I love yours, too. Drink? Hi, Jinx. Hi, yes, Fuzzy. Zooey.
Hey, Pinky, don't forget to take our picture.
Going out to get my camera right now.
Oh, are you having a good time?
Excuse me, Gordy. Excuse me, please. Trixie, Tootie, Buzzy, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
I beg your pardon.
Get back!
Hey, Houston, are you all right?
Next time you rescue me, Vance, just don't sway so much, would you?
Mama, it's perfect.
I'm sure it's perfect. I did it.
Oh, thanks.
Why?
For doing it.
I know that. But why did I do it?
It's a surprise.
For who?
For Houston, he's in love.
He's in love with you? Brava!
Oh, no, Mama. He's in love with another girl. See, at 13.
13? She's 13. He should be ashamed of himself.
No, Mama. She's not 13. He was 13.
He's 13. And she made love to him? She should be ashamed of herself, robbing the cradle.
No, Mama, she didn't make love to him. When he was 13, he fell in love with her, but she wasn't in love with him. You see, but he always wanted to go out with her, so I thought I would surprise him by fulfilling his fantasy about her.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Well, Mama, CJ, what's going on?
So, when are you getting married?
Married?
He's not getting married, Mama.
I'm not?
No.
See? How are you going to have kids if you don't get married?
Good, why? How am I going to do that?
I don't know.
You have a little girl. Will you name her after me?
Well, Mama's an odd name for a little child.
No, Mama. Rosa. It's such a cute name for a baby. Rosa Houston.
But it doesn't sound right.
No.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you should change your last name.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Never mind. Don't ask questions. Just trust me. I had a little brainstorm about something.
Houston,
Oh, honey, what are you doing here?
having dinner with you.
I am?
You're not.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't have a chance.
You don't want to have dinner with me?
Wait, no. I mean, yes, I do. It's just I don't understand.
I don't either, Matt Houston. You see, CJ told me that you wanted to fulfill a fantasy.
You did that?
Yeah. No, I wanted to fulfill your fantasy.
Oh, you want to fulfill his fantasy.
Not I, me. Me through you.
Ah, the lucky lady. So, when is the wedding?
Better cock your pistols.
Must be an extra special VIP list for Houston to throw a party at such short notice.
His invitation list looks like a who's who of international dollardom. Oh, here comes someone now. Ah, how very nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm Murray Chase, Mr. Houston's vice president in charge of various things. And you're... Please, don't tell me. Mr. Houston sent me a telegram with all of your names on it. Oh, what did I do with that telegram? General, I think?
Malcolm Abercrombie, and this is my wife, Celeste.
Lady Celeste. I'm Murray Chase.
Yes, so you said.
Derwin Dunlop. Yes, indeed. The Derwin Dunlop. The genius who invented the Exodus home computer.
I'm very anxious to meet with the great Mr. Houston and to do business with him.
Oh, yes, indeed. It isn't often one gets a personal invitation in the form of a telegram to get in on the ground floor of a multi-million-dollar Houston Industries ploy.
Well, right this way, please. Thank you. Oh, just make yourselves comfortable and I will join you in just a moment. Girls, thank you very much. I really appreciate you doing this.
A Sunday afternoon, you're lucky to find us in.
Well, it's like I said, I didn't even know about it myself until this morning. But, you know, I can't figure out still why Houston didn't phone me. I mean, why did he send me a telegram instead?
CJ, you know, I still can't figure out why Murray sent me a telegram. I mean, instead of calling me on the phone, you know how he loves to talk on the phone.
Well, Houston, you know how Murray is. He probably got overly excited when he got a call from the aide to the Vice President of the United States asking to have drinks in your office.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I feel like a penguin in this get-up.
I wouldn't know, Houston. I've never dated a penguin.
Yeah. Well, CJ, listen, would you remind me to get away from the Vice President as soon as possible? I got something real important to do tonight.
Houston, what could be more important than being the keynote speaker at a banquet honoring the Vice President of the United States?
I'll tell you something. I promised little Tony Novelli I'd be at his first communion party tonight, and that's very important. See, he's my buddy.
Your Royal High. What does one call a Maharaja?
I'd call him sexy.
Yeah, I had Mr. Houston's guest list, and I know there was one Maharaja's name, but
Maharaja of Ranjipur. It is an honorary title only. I prefer being called Mo. It's short for my given name, Mohandas. I would introduce the lovely lady, but I'm afraid all we have in common is one short elevator ride.
I'm Clover McKenna.
Certainly are. Wow. Jet set everything. Pilot, skydiver, Grand Prix champion. You even had an article in People magazine last week.
Well, I guess that high-priced PR man of mine's been doing his job.
Well, if you will follow me, I would be glad to introduce you to the rest of our guests. No, thank you, of course. And you all know Derwin Dunlop? And of course, Clover McKenna.
By reputation only. Is that a compliment or an insult, Lady Celeste? Make of it what you will. Had I known that you were going to be here.
That will be Mr. Houston. You got here.
What, the party start without me?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it a party, but your guests are here.
My guess? Murray, I did... Murray, what the hell's going on here?
The business meeting you told me to set up.
What business meeting, Murray? The telegram you sent me told me to be here to meet the Vice President.
Vice President? Houston, I don't know what you're talking about. This is your party.
Murray, read my lips. I did not set up any party.
Then why did you send me a telegram this morning telling me to meet and greet these guests of yours?
You got a telegram too?
Yeah, it's inside. I don't understand.
I don't either. But I think we better go inside and take a look at that telegram. Well, Clover, I mean, what a surprise. Would you look at you?
Oh, Houston. It's been a long time.
Well, it has been a long time, yes. Well, I've got a problem, Clover. I'd say I'm just wondering why you and all these other people are here.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, you invited us.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Listen, why don't we go meet some people, all right? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Matt Houston.
Derwin Dunlop.
Derwin Dunlop. It's a pleasure, sir. And you're Maharaja of Ranjipur. Nice to meet you. And Malcolm Abercrombie. My wife Celeste. It's quite a pleasure.
Houston, here's the telegram.
Well, according to this, folks, I did invite you all here, but there's just one small problem. See, I didn't send this telegram.
Well, here's the telegram you sent me.
Sunday, 6 p.m., an invitation to a formal dinner to form a multi-million-dollar business combine. It's guaranteed to triple its investment in 6 weeks. And it's signed Matt Houston.
A duplicate of the cablegram I received.
And I.
Well, it is obvious that we have all been duped.
Is someone playing a joke?
If they are, I may know the reason why. But you're not going to like it.
Well, give it your best shot, Maharaj.
Aside from your 2 business associates, Miss C.J. Parsons and Mr. Murray Chase, we all do have something in common. We...
You all right?
Oh!
C.J., call the paramedics, pronto. Let's get him over to the couch, all right?
Okay.
Houston, all the phones are out of order.
CJ, try the chopper radio. Now, let's get in here. Let's put some pressure on this, would you?
You got it.
Buddy, stay put. CJ, are you all right?
I'll let you know when my heart starts pumping again.
Yeah, what happened?
I reached for the door and something just blew.
It's a nifty little gadget. That's what made it blow. Now, whoever planted that certainly knew what he was doing.
Houston. Houston, the elevator doors won't open.
Well, Murray, you got to use the emergency stairs. Walk down.
I tried. The emergency exit's been sealed off from the outside. That door won't budge.
Murray, are you saying that we are stuck in this skyscraper with no way out?
No, that's what I'm trying not to say. But you said it for me.
Houston, this whole thing is getting very spooky. Do you agree?
Yes, yes, I do. Well, you can forget about the radio.
Will the chopper fly?
Not even if Superman strapped it on his back. I tell you, we've got no phone, no radio, no helicopter. We got no elevator and no stairs. What we've got is a bomb and a poison dart. It's just not my idea of a fun party.
Well, this is for you. Hey, Paul, Lamar, pull up some pizza and have some fun.
Oh, hey, man.
We're little Tony's first communion.
Grazie, Mr. Bo.
Mama, you bet. Wrong again. I'm Lamar.
And I'm Bo.
Well, whatever. Oh, poverino, what's happened?
One of these days, he's gonna learn to stay on his horse.
Come on in and celebrate my Tony's first communion. Gino, guarda that fine Chianti for Mr. Bo and Mr. Lamar. By the way, where's Houston, CJ?
Houston and CJ gonna be at my late, Mama.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to stop by the office for another shindig first, but don't worry, they wouldn't miss this.
No, sirree, they wouldn't miss this over their dead bodies.
The important thing is to make sure that all those folks out there do not panic. And we got to jump on this thing, Murray. I want you to entertain them and just make sure everybody stays calm. CJ, you've got to find a way to communicate with the outside world.
Well, I've already got Derwin out on the patio trying to attract attention, but Houston, we're on the top floor of a skyscraper and nobody particularly cares.
It's gonna be dark soon. Why don't you use a flashlight to send SOSs? Maybe we'll get lucky, find someone on the ground who reads Morse code.
That's a good idea, Murray.
Maharaj is dead.
It'll be all right.
Don't you touch me, ever.
Charming. Any luck?
I dispatched 2 squadrons of those planes, each with its own SOS message. I managed to attract absolutely nobody.
Well, that's par for the course because there's not much foot traffic in this part of town on Sunday evenings.
Good. That means people won't get wet. There's a storm blowing in.
Phones are working.
Listen, don't talk, just listen to me. My name's Matt Houston. We're stuck on the 4th.
Houston, that's the funeral march.
Yeah, I know, Murray. Someone's got a very lousy sense of humor.
I wonder if he had a family.
I couldn't tell you, Murray. I never met the man before today.
Houston, how can you remain so calm with everything that's going on?
Well, Murray, would it help you any if I just up and panicked?
Well, no, but...
Yeah, Murray, listen, now, if it'll make you feel any better, I do have an ace in the hole.
We do?
Mm-hmm. Vince Novelli. You see, CJ and I were supposed to show up at little Tony's first communion party. Now, when we don't show up there...
Novelli will come after us.
That's right. Now, first, I think he's gonna phone. And when that doesn't work, he'll phone again and again.
And he knows we've got 26 separate lines coming in here, 2 backup generators. When he can't get through, he's gonna know something's wrong.
Like I said, Murray, ace in the hole.
How about a drink, your ladyship? I'm buying. Well, here's to marriage. A female plot to add to man's responsibilities and subtract from his rights.
What would you know about marriage? You have never had the decency to marry any of your lovers.
Maybe I've got too much decency to marry them.
Yeah, it looks like you're hard at work here. Did you find anything out?
Yes. Your piano has been rigged to play by remote control.
Remote control? Is that a sort of channel selector thing like people have on their television?
Basically, yes, but far more sophisticated.
Yeah, well, listen, whoever our mystery man or woman is, they've got a series of buttons that can, well, control the elevator, the piano, the phones. It can even blow up a mini bomb and fire a deadly death dart. And I'm just concerned about what they've got up their sleeve next.
You had to ask?
What's going on? You're supposed to be sending an SOS, not responding to one.
CJ, have we got any more candles around here anyplace?
I'm downstairs in the gym. I'll go get them.
Well, good. Murray, you stick close to her. I mean really close.
You bet, boss.
Thanks, Houston.
You're absolutely positive, operator? Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I just want to... Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Houston's phone's still out of order.
Relax, Bill. Go back to your table. Sit down. Eat. Drink. Later, we'll open up Tony's present.
That's good stuff. Wonder what they call it.
Wine.
Hey, CJ.
That enough light for you, Houston?
Yeah, I believe it is for what I had in mind.
What exactly is that?
Well, I'll tell you, I thought we'd all play a little game called Show and Tell. Now, what I'd like everybody to do is place the contents of what you're carrying right here on the bar.
That is ridiculous. That's an invasion of privacy.
Well, yes, ma'am, you're right. I could not agree with you more, but I'll tell you something. The Maharaja's privacy was invaded something awful, and I fully intend to do something about it.
Well, I'll submit to a body search if you do it personally, Houston.
Some other time, Clover.
Houston, what is the point of all this?
Well, I'll tell you, Brigadier, have you ever read the phrase in the good book, seek and ye shall find? Well, I'm planning on doing a little seeking and a little finding.
Find what?
Well, hopefully, like a dart gun or a remote control device, anything that the killer might be planning on using on his or her next victim.
Another killing?
That's right, Murray. There's a strong possibility that there could be several more. Because I really don't believe that whoever's responsible for sending him to that big Taj Mahal in the sky went to all that trouble for just one victim. No, I don't. So shall we get started here? Ladies first, hmm? Celeste. Letters are personal. You can hang on to that if you wish.
Thank you.
Well, there's nothing here. Okay, gentlemen. Well, there is no remote control device or no dart gun, so I think it's about time we switch games. Let's say 20 questions. And the first question, ladies and gentlemen, is which one of us killed the Maharaja?
One of us.
Come off it, Clover. I mean, there is a man dead here, and I do not see any other suspects floating around. Now, let's just take it from the beginning, all right? Now, we do have the dart that killed the Maharaja.
May I see that?
Certainly.
This dart is used by Central African natives. I've seen these hellish things when I was there. They're tipped with a deadly, fast-acting poison.
Yes, well, so we've seen. But I tell you, the question is, has anybody else here been to Africa recently?
Just because I've been to Africa doesn't mean I killed him.
Well, I don't recollect anybody saying that you did, Brigadier. Now, there is one other thing that's been sticking in my craw. Yeah, you see, whoever's controlling all these electronic gadgets and gizmos has to be some kind of electronic wizard. I mean, to get in here on Friday after hours and rig the entire place, now that's something.
You mean someone who builds computers? Someone like me?
You're the one who said it.
Well, I'm also saying that I had no reason to kill that man. I never met him before today, and I had no motive.
Well, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Of course you didn't have a motive. I totally vote.
Oh, come on, Houston. That's enough of this game.
Oh, now hold on, folks. Just hold it a minute, all right? Please. Derwin, you being an electronic crackerjack of sorts, would you mind seeing if you can breathe some life back in that chopper radio for me? Hmm?
I can try.
Thank you, sir. Now, friends, we've got ourselves a couple of problems here. One being that none of us here have a motive to kill the Maharaja. Two being that nobody seems to have met the man before today, or at least that's what I've been told.
You were told wrong. My husband, he'd met the Maharaja.
Yes, it was many years ago, in India. I was on a goodwill mission to Rajipur. He must have been all of 10 years old. I'd never have known him after all these years if we hadn't been introduced again today.
Well, let's strike two, Brigadier. Because he said something just before he died. He said, all of us in this room have something in common except for CJ and Murray. Now, does anybody here have an idea of what that common denominator might be?
Hey, Houston, I think I got something.
Just everybody stay put, all right? Mayday, Mayday, come in. Can anybody hear me?
Mr. Houston was asking about common denominators. Frankly, Clover, I cannot think of anything more common than you. I know you. Mr. Houston knows you. My husband certainly knows you.
Steady on her, girl.
I have had about enough of your holier-than-thou attitude. No common thread exists. Derwin was a total stranger to me before today, so you can kiss your theory goodbye, Lady Celeste.
I'd rather you kissed my husband goodbye, you adulterous.
Mayday, Mayday. Can anybody read me? Come in, please.
It's a waste of time, Houston. What I got must have been that radio's death valve.
Houston, I think the natives are getting restless.
What is going on in there? What is that? Couldn't you do anything about this?
Thank you, boy. I'm rather enjoying it.
Ladies, come on now, ladies.
Enough. You're supposed to be a lady.
Let me go! You're supposed to be a gentleman, not an adolescent schoolboy fishing after a promiscuous chippy. Please, please let me go! I want to get out of here!
There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
Somehow I don't feel like dancing. Lady Celeste's purse. Houston, what's the rule on reading other people's mail?
Well, I'd say if it happens to belong to a corpse and the contents of the said letter might save a few lives, my rule is go for it, CJ.
What a ghastly way to go.
I wanted us to be free of her. But not like this. Still, there is all that money.
Well, what'd you find out?
Well, if we were planning a stroll on the patio, our killer just canceled it.
Yeah, well, that's what I gathered after what happened to Lady Celeste.
How does that thing work?
It's an electronic force field. Electric eyes on either side of the door. Break that beam by walking through the field and, well, you saw what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, let's try something. Now, there's no way to deactivate this thing, huh?
If there is, I haven't found it.
Yeah, well, just out of curiosity. Murray, it's a wooden handle.
Great. Now we're really trapped. We can't even get out on the patio to send an SOS.
Well, tell me something, Dr. Wizard. We've all been walking through these doors since we arrived. Why wasn't somebody electrocuted then?
Because the killer didn't want them to die, yet. I figure we'll each be murdered in a different and very bizarre way.
Well, that's a cheery thought. If the killer's as smart as I think he is, he's got every possible exit wired in this office.
Excuse me. Houston, I just read Lady Celeste's letter. I suggest you do the same thing.
bad killer's messing around with my baby. Revenge to Houston 0. So far, you've been shut out.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to play.
The guilty 6 must die, including you, Houston Wonderful.
Yeah, how come I get special billing?
What is this?
CJ, I do believe Mr. Revenge is having some fun with us. He's spoon-feeding us clues.
Monte Carlo, 5 years ago.
Must be Rajapur.
That's the late Maharaja. He's viewing India's Republic Day parade. Who will die next? I wonder if that's a multiple choice question.
Okay, that's it. I'm taking control of baby right now. Touch one more key and you die. Oh, really?
CJ.
Watch this.
CJ, hold it, hold it. Come here. Just hold your horses.
Thanks, Houston. That could have hurt.
Mm-hmm.
When's Uncle Houston going to get him?
I don't know, son. I just called his office and the phone is still out of order.
Tesoro, vieni qua, vieni. Come on and dance with Grandma. I want to see you shake, rattle, and roll. Vieni, vieni,
Any word from Houston? No, I'm gonna send the patrol car around and check his building out.
Patrol car? You figure something's happened to him?
No, all I know is he's got 26 phone lines, 2 backup generators, and I still can't get in touch with him. If he's in that building, it doesn't make any sense.
You need some help?
Oh, I think I got it here. You know, it looks to me like this was electronically aimed and fired.
At me?
Well, not at you specifically, CJ, but where you were sitting. Now, would you look at this? I wonder what the killer had in mind for this sword.
Not a sword. It's a saber. There's a difference.
Well, excuse me, Brigadier. Don't get your crumpets all bent out of shape. It's just that, well, down home, we call this Texas-sized frog sticker. It is some handsome handiwork, I must admit. You know, I saw one just like this when I was in England. Judging by the royal crest, I'd say it was from a king or a queen. Tell me something. Would you mind telling me your full name, Brigadier?
What on earth for?
Well, just for whatever it's worth, I guess.
Malcolm James Abercrombie.
It'll all be. It's got your initials on it.
May I see that?
Certainly.
It's mine. How on earth it got here, I have no idea. Her Majesty presented it to me 5 years ago.
Another coincidence, Brigadier. Now, have you ever seen that gun before?
It's a sterling. And in answer to your next question, it's made in Britain.
Hold it, Houston. An unused saber and a British gun does not make Malcolm guilty.
It's a good point, Clover, but I tell you something, all these coincidences do have a tendency to add up.
Like neglecting to mention the fact that you had previously met the Maharaja?
Or like the affair you've been having with Clover, which your wife objected to rather strenuously.
Your late wife.
You people seem to have formed some sort of conspiracy to find me guilty of things I'm not guilty of. Why should I kill Celeste? I could have divorced her. It would have settled everything.
Now, I'll tell you something. This is a letter from Lady Celeste to her attorney. Now, it looks as though she was about to tie a can to your tail. She was going to divorce you.
Leave you without a shilling.
That's right. So you figured the best thing to do was to kill her because you were the only heir.
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Is it rubbish? Now, that fight that she got into earlier, now, you came into the room and all she wanted to do was exit, and you stopped her.
She was trying to get away. The poor thing could never face a confrontation. She always fled the room when one occurred.
That's right, but you stopped her. And I tell you, it looked an awful lot like you just pointed her at that patio door where she was electrocuted.
I did nothing of the kind. What do you people want of me?
Well, I'll tell you something. For the morale of everybody in this room, a full confession would be dandy.
That you will never have. Oh, I'm warning you. Houston, I don't want to have to use this.
Why don't you just put it down, Brigadier? I mean, you're not the type to be running around poking holes in people. Besides, it's very uncivilized.
Not to mention messy.
Why don't you just put the frog sticker down, Brigadier? And you and I'll have a little chat. Have yourself a seat. That's more like it.
Still in the dark, Houston? Here's a clue or two.
Well, you just keep them coming, Mr. Revenge, because one of these days you're going to slip up and give me one clue too many.
Where did that film come from?
Well, I'm not sure, but maybe you could explain a little bit about it, Derwin.
There's nothing much to tell. It was about 5 years ago. I had just invented the Exodus home computer. And the California chapter of the American Electronics Association had given me a special award. They named me Man of the Year.
Yeah, well, Derwin, you being the electronical whiz kid that you are, maybe you could see if you can get control of baby back to us, huh?
Yeah, I'll give it a try. It'll take some time, though.
Taps.
Yeah, but for whom? The Brigadier or the rest of us? Well, it's 3 down and 3 to go, Murray.
Houston, something has got to be done.
Murray, I'm working on it. How you doing, Derwin?
Well, it's not easy, Houston, but I'm getting there.
Murray, what is going on? Houston, letting that person work on baby is a monumental mistake. You said it yourself. Practically everything in this office has been electronically rigged. And Derwin's...
I know, is an electronic genius.
Houston, he's got to be the killer.
Well, Murray, maybe he is and maybe he's not, but I tell you what keeps sticking in my mind is, now, a couple of years back, I had a layover at this airport, so I picked myself up one of those murder mysteries, you know? Well, it was all about a group of folks that were trapped in this house, and they were being picked off one by one.
That's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, I know, but see, I tell you, the way it ended, it turns out that the first victim really wasn't dead at all. See, he staged his death. And it was him that was picking off the people all along.
Houston, are you thinking...
Uh-huh. Let's go look for the Maharaja.
Houston, they're all gone.
Okay, Hey, Bambino. Looks like it's gonna rain. I think we better go home like everybody else.
But Uncle Houston promised he'd be here, and he will never break a promise.
Yeah, I know. It's part of the cowboy code. But something must have come up.
Grazie per tutto, eh? Oh, Carl!
I am.
Okay, Hopalong. We'll give it a little while longer.
You think that's...
Lieutenant, I checked out the Houston building like you said. All secure.
Front and back.
Every. Tight as a drum.
Are you sure?
Well, there was something funny.
Yeah, what?
It's sort of hard to explain.
Come on, Carl. Talk to me.
Well, when I walked around into the alley behind Houston's building, there was this... Lieutenant, you're gonna think I'm bonkers.
Come on, out with it now.
Well, there was this old wino sitting there all by himself.
Yeah.
And he was wearing an old, worn-out sports coat. Gray tweed. A dead ringer for the one I owned when I graduated high school.
That's it?
I told you it sounded bonkers.
Yeah, you did say that, Carl. Okay, look, if the gray sports coat shows up again, do me a favor. Don't call me. I'll call you.
Oh, Carl, are you hungry?
On a diet, Mama. I'll take a rain check.
Well, that should do it. I did a bypass operation on her. You should have control now.
I told everybody you were a genius, Derwin. I knew you could do it.
Yeah, listen, CJ, would you put up that Indian parade stuff with the Maharaja in it?
Okay.
Since he was murdered first, let's stick with him.
What do you expect to find, Houston?
Well, hopefully a little proof that I really did read all those chapters in the book.
And the Maharaja faked his death.
Oh, Houston, you took his pulse. He had to be dead.
Either that or he found a way to make us believe he was dead.
How?
I'll tell you, Murray, there's several different ways you can do it. Now, there's some drugs. They're not your average, everyday, over-the-counter drugs, but there's a few of them that will suppress the vital signs temporarily. Now, hold it, CJ, would you blow that up a little bit? Now, before tonight, I never set eyes on that man. Now, I've done business with him in the past, but always long distance. Yeah, CJ, see if you can blow it up just a little bit more.
Sure.
Okay, now freeze that. Okay, folks, meet the real Maharaja of Ranjapur.
So our guest was a phony Maharaja.
That's what I'm betting on, CJ. Listen, would you put up the Monte Carlo shot of Clover? Now, when was this taken?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Now, why does that phrase keep popping up? 5 years ago. I wonder if that's the common denominator that we've been looking for.
Eastern, I think you've got something. I mean, 5 years ago, the Brigadier was presented his saber. 5 years ago, Derwin won the Man of the Year award. And 5 years ago, Clover won the Monte Carlo race.
But Clover, at that point in time, besides winning the race, was there anything that happened in your life, anything unusual or different?
Nothing I can think of. I won the race, and I flew back to the States a day or two after that. Oh, there was that party given in my honor.
But wait, what party? I mean, who gave the party for you?
Oh, this American I met in Monte Carlo, I would rather forget.
Well, has he got a name?
Brogan.
T. Dempster Brogan?
That's the one. Do you know him?
And then some.
Now, I know a Brogan, too. Derwin, do you know a Brogan $5 million worth? Ladies and gentlemen, all the pieces are finally beginning to fit together. You know, we're all our own common denominator here. Derwin, me, Clover, and the late Abercrombies. You see, just 5 years ago, Brogan set up a so-called non-profit organization and built a dam in Ranjapur. We all collectively gave him $20 million to do it, supposedly to help the starving natives.
And Brogan went south with the 20 mil.
Yeah, but then he was arrested in India. On our deposition, he was tried, convicted, and sent to an Indian prison. And I tell you, judging from what happened tonight, I'd say that he escaped or he was released, one of the two.
Houston, are you saying...
Well, Mr. Revenge Brogan, guess who? I know you're in here. And I'll bet you $1 you've been using my elevator to come and go as you please, and I'll bet you're in there right now. And I know you got your heart set on killing me and Clover and Derwin. I'll tell you something, it'd be a very big financial mistake, because if you kill me, I can't write you a big, fat, blank check. No, and I know you got very expensive habits. So what do you say, Maharaja? Why don't you come on out of there and we'll all hunker down over the checkbook here and get this thing squared away, huh? My congratulations on your makeup expertise, Maharaja Brogan.
It's the actor in me, Houston. I always wanted to be one.
I guess killing is a little more profitable, is that it?
Okay. Everyone but Houston. Into the elevator. Our friends stay locked in while you and I hunker down over your checkbook.
Now, how do I know that you're not just going to kill us all when I hand over the check to you?
You don't.
Thing hasn't been fired since my great-granddaddy used it in his last turkey shoot. Hey, buddy.
Uncle Houston, I promised you to come. I knew you'd keep your promise no matter how long it took.
Well, partner, what are you still doing here, hmm?
Houston! Oh, guarda, guarda, guarda. The princess and the pauper. What kind of crazy party you been to?
Yeah, Houston, what happened? You look like somebody used your face for a soccer ball.
Well, it's really not that bad. See, Vince, we went to a terrific party. I mean, all kinds of nifty people.
Real nifty people. Maharajas, the English aristocracy, a brigadier.
Yeah, that's right. And you know how those things are. I mean, we just kind of got trapped.
Good point, Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Houston. I'm so glad I finally got you. I've got good news. The coroner found the other two in the stairwell. And I've got better news. The bomb damage to the chopper, the machine gun holes in the furniture, the broken picture window, and the bloodstains on the carpet, all covered by insurance. $50 deductible.
Houston, what's he talking about?
I have no idea. It's a $100 deductible.
better cock your pistols.
You. As heavy as this was, I should have known. I'll take your money, all right. But I would have killed Houston for nothing.
Come on, Houston. For crying in a bucket. Let's open some more of these.
Well, now, come on, we gotta save a couple for when Mama, Vince, and the kids get here. I mean, they want to open some.
Just one, maybe two.
Bo, didn't your mom ever tell you about what killed the cat?
Well, maybe just one more, I guess.
Well, I hope you got something useful instead of all these toys and stuff you're probably just gonna give to some museum. Happy birthday, Houston. Guess who? Now they got guessing games.
Well, Houston will be able to tell who it is from the present.
We never had all these guessing games in my house. You got socks for your birthday and underwear for Christmas.
Buon compleanno! Ecco qua! To toast your birthday, caro Houston. The best. Chianti Classico, the best.
Well, thank you, Mama. Listen, did you get here all by your lonesome?
No. Vincent just dropped me off. He's going now to pick the boys.
Well, you're going to be sorry that you're here early because you're going to have to listen to Bo and his favorite subject, which is how poor he was.
Oh, y'all go ahead and make fun. I'll tell you, we're poor enough not to waste time on foolishness like this. Look at this, Houston. A mounted rabbit's head and they done put horns on it.
Well, Bo, that's a Texas jackalope. You know, cross between jackrabbit and antelope.
Jackalope.
Yeah, Mom, they're very rare these days.
Ain't no use at all. Ain't no purpose to it. Wait a minute, it could be a clock. I think it might be a clock. Except where you tell the time's a puzzle.
Why do you think it's a clock?
Because it's ticking.
Oh.
Houston.
CJ, I'm not getting any pulse.
Oh, mio Dio, che disgrazia.
Wait. He's still alive.
I'll call the hospital.
I'm gonna stay with him, all right?
Oh, Vergine Santa, perché non muoia. Dear God, please don't let him die. Oh, poor Bo. Poor Bo.
Doc.
Well, your friend has had a lot of luck. If you hadn't gotten him to the hospital so quickly by helicopter, well, I can't promise he'll stay as lucky. He has a severe concussion. There's a subdural hematoma.
Listen, Doc, if you'll just speak English for me, it'll make this whole thing a lot easier.
But if there are any next of kin, they should be informed.
He hasn't really got anybody. I guess I'm about as next to him as anyone.
And we'll hope he continues to be lucky.
Nurse Bartlett called physical therapy on 214. Nurse Bartlett called physical therapy on...
Houston? Houston?
I don't know. The doctors are doing everything they can, but I just don't know right now.
Houston! Houston! Come on, let me help. Will you remember me? I'm the police.
We know who did this, Vince. We know.
No, sweetheart.
We know who did it, Vince! What's the matter with you? Don't you read the news? Look at this.
Huh? This man is a contract killer. I'm the one to put him away, Vince. Now, he swore if he ever got out, he was coming after me. Well, he filled his end of the bargain. He's out. He gave it his best shot. Now it's my turn. This is just a little something for the paper boy, all right?
Houston, you can't do it this...
CJ, we've got work to do. CJ!
Dirk Bronson. We can't really be sure where he is, though, Houston. But his last known associates are labor racketeers. And he worked for this man, Fred Bothig. Apparently they're quite tight, but whether or not Bothig had anything to do with the breakout, nobody knows.
Well, he knows where Bronson is, and that's all that matters.
Houston. You be careful. You be real careful, okay?
Bronson.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bothig.
It's all right, honey.
But I tried to
No,
keep...
it's all right.
Where is he?
What is this? No introductions, no hello, no nothing?
I asked you, where is he?
All right, it's okay. I know who you are. You got out of your depth, didn't you, putting Bronson away? Well, you're out of your depth here, too. Now, if you're smart, you make a U-turn, you get your tail out of here.
Listen, I asked you a question.
All right.
All right, down by the water somewhere. I don't know, maybe the marina or something. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. I just heard that. You're a dead man, Houston. I mean, you think you're smart, don't you? Well, you're dumb. You're chasing your tail around trying to find Bronson. You got emotional on this one. It's a big mistake. You should have just stopped and tried to figure it out.
So why don't you educate me?
All right. How did Bronson break out? I mean, he didn't blast his way out, did he? You wonder about that, huh? He got out easy. He greased his way out with money. I mean, that's big money, too. Bronson doesn't have that kind of money.
So somebody broke him out.
Yeah, all right, you win a cigar on that.
Just to get to me.
Huh. Oh, well, you win another cigar. All right, who did it, huh? Why don't you try for the big stuffed panda up there on the shelf?
Castanos.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the look on your face when you heard it.
I don't believe you.
All right, don't believe it, you know. I mean, that's the word on the street. Castanos wanted to buy Bronson, anybody else to get to Houston.
It's impossible.
Impossible, huh? Castanos does the impossible.
It can't be done, that's all there is to it. Simply no way Mr. Castanos could operate from here. He's segregated from any other of our resident population. He has no visitors. The mail is screened.
No mail in or out, huh?
Mr. Houston, Mr. Castanos is a homicidal, psychotic killer. But this is not Poland, or Uganda for that matter. He is permitted mail. Of course, we would read every word. But there has been none.
None at all.
Hard to imagine, isn't it? One of the world's wealthiest men.
Copper mines, real estate properties, shipping lines, amusement parks, you name it.
Father leaves him an empire. He decides to become Jack the Ripper. Well, when you're through, you let me know. And leave your pass at the gate.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Houston. Happy birthday to you. Did you have a happy birthday, Mr. Houston? I trust at least it was eventful.
It was you, wasn't it?
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm insane.
Listen, would you get the doctor for me, please?
Houston, a word of advice. Do the things you always wanted to do. Vacation. See those old friends just once more. And if you are a religious man, pray. You ruined my mission, Mr. Houston.
Your mission? All you did was carve up helpless women.
No. My master, Lord of the netherworld, revered be his name, sent me on a mission to find the soul in the body of women. Inside them. I looked everywhere. You stopped me from finding it. Maybe your associate, that C.J. Parsons. Maybe she is hiding it from me. Inside her body.
Listen to me. If anything happens to her...
Temper, Mr. Houston.
You really got them all fooled, don't you? I should have killed you when I had the chance.
You can't kill me. The police can't kill me. How many bullets did it take for them just to capture me? The doctors say I am a miracle, which I am.
Tell me about Bronson.
Bronson is one. There are others. It is all arranged. I have put it into work. They are going to kill you, Mr. Houston. I chose only the best people. You are going to die.
tough guy. You're gonna talk. It's only a matter of time. Kiss off.
Get it, Vance. He's too tough a guy. Yeah, you see, tough guys, they consider it gauche to talk, especially where he's going.
Back to McNeil's Island, forever.
Yeah. Yeah, Vince, there's just no way to make a tough guy talk these days. I mean, your old proverbial rubber hose, no, that's gone. It's all a thing of the past.
Hey, pal. You put a mark on me in here, I'll scream for my lawyer.
Well, listen, we wouldn't want to bend your civil liberties. No, we wouldn't want to do that at all. But I tell you what, we might tell a little white lie or two.
What are you talking about?
Well, I thought we'd make a couple phone calls, you know, to the judge, the DA, public defender's office. You let them know just how much you're helping us out here, how much you're talking to us, and make sure it goes on your record.
Yeah, you send me back to the joint with snitch pinned on me, I'll be dead within a week.
Is that right? Son of a gun.
$1 million. $1 million and a ticket to the country of my choice. That was the deal.
The price to kill Houston.
Yeah.
You sent me a bomb for my birthday.
It was Castano's idea.
Castano said he hired 3 people to kill Houston. Who were the other 2?
I don't know.
Vince, why don't you make a couple phone calls?
Hey, listen, I'm being straight with you guys.
How'd he get in touch with you?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Castanos. Now, he is supposedly in an institution where he has no contact with the outside world, yet he got in touch with you, he got in touch with the others. He arranged prison breaks. Now, he's got to have a man on the inside. It might be a doctor, it might be an orderly. But I tell you something, you best tell me how he got in touch with you.
There was this guy, an orderly. His name was Felix. Anything we needed, we'd put the move on him, and he'd get us to what we needed.
I know Felix. He would cooperate with you even if he was in trouble. I assure you, officer.
Doctor, I don't like to be this blunt, but you're a naive man. Judges do not like to issue warrants to toss a man's room these days unless they have a lot of cause. We've got cause.
Ran a credit check on the man, and he makes $17,400 per year as an orderly in this institution.
I don't know what it is. That sounds right.
Well, doctor, he doesn't drive a Mercedes to work. Nothing quite that blatant, but he does have a stock and bond account at Eckworth Whitewood and Company that you could retire on. And I'll just bet you it's all due to good old Mr. Castanos.
Doctor, for the moment, we're including you in our confidence, but he must not know we've been here. We'll learn a lot more from keeping him under surveillance than if we arrest him.
Vince, I just came up with a fistful of airline tickets to all over the country. Tell me something. Why would an orderly be flying to all these cities?
Houston, all these airline tickets were to cities that had prisons. But according to Baby, all the cities had prison breaks that were on the same date as the airline tickets. Now, you know about Bronson because you nailed him, but there are 2 men that you don't know about.
Yeah, CJ, how's Bo doing? Is he holding up steady?
So far, so good, Houston. He's out of intensive care.
So far, so good.
Alvin Ambler, he's a very, very heavy hitter. He's mob-related. He is a recent resident of Walla Walla State Prison, and about a month ago he escaped. He's wandering around out there somewhere. New Jersey State Prison, Clevis Sims. He's a killer. And he's killed in many different ways.
Well, I suppose for $1 million in the house of your choice in Switzerland, he probably thinks it's a pretty good line of work.
Houston, these are the men who are hunting you.
CJ, at least we know who they are.
You had dinner yet?
No, I haven't. Where would you like to go,
Well, if I said Tahiti and out of all this mess, you'd say you had things to do. So how about Mama Novelli's?
Sounds good. Why don't we stop to see Bo on the way over there? Stay down.
You slept pretty comfortable all last night and all day that I've been here.
It's the best thing, Mama. I spoke to the doctor. He's encouraged.
Encouraged? Nice word. But he won't say a thing. Siamo sempre lì. God makes the cure and the doctor sends the bill. Although I must say that this doctor seems to be a good man, huh?
Well, thank you for being here, Mom. It makes me feel better.
Of course I'm here. Where else would I be? Oh, by the way, your friend, Mr. Lamar, he called from Texas. I told him not to fly back. There's nothing he can do. And besides, if Bo wakes up and he finds all his friends gathered around his bed, for sure he's going to think he's dying, and poof, up to St. Peter. Oh, how I wish I had that viliaco that did this in front of me right now.
No, you don't, Mama.
But who is this man that makes war on Houston?
Houston never talked about him, Mama. His name is Castanos.
But is he that bad?
Yes, he's that bad. A few years ago, Houston received a call from a friend of his who was in the diplomatic corps, stationed in Austria. The man's wife had disappeared. By the time Houston got there, they'd found the man's wife. At least they were able to identify her from the dental charts. Castanos left that much. Houston tracked him all through Europe, from Vienna to Corfu, to Rome, to Paris. It was easy because he'd left a trail of bodies. Houston almost caught up with him in London. But the police there got to him first. London bobbies don't carry guns. 3 of them cornered Castanos. He killed all 3, bare hands.
A madman's strength.
Houston continued to follow him everywhere he went. He followed him until he caught up with him again in San Diego, and he put the police onto him there. Our police do have guns. But it took 13 bullets to bring him down. 13. Now you know why Castanos hates Houston. He's on his way to see Castanos right now.
Mr. Castanos. Mr. Castanos. Fellows, I need some entry support, please. Mr. Houston.
Thank you.
Adonis? Mr. Houston's here. He'd like to speak with you again. Oh, come on now. You've had 8 hours sleep like everybody else.
That's not Castanos. Not him.
Call the infirmary.
Now, don't fight me, honey, or I'll have to hurt you.
Officer, this man was trying to assault me. His name is Alvin Ansel.
I have her. Get the door. You can do that at least.
How wrong I was. How totally foolish of me to hire people to kill Houston. Why, that was not ordained at all. I think how much fun it can be. Why, it would be delicious to kill Houston myself, as it should be.
The police are looking for you. I don't think they realize that this is personal between you and Houston.
Oh, no, no.
I'll tell them. If you let me go,
The soul of man is in women. Did you know that?
I'll tell them. They'll believe me.
You might be the one. I think you might be.
The one?
We're almost there.
You are really very nice, Miss Parsons.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I have to do this now. But it's really for the best. It will save so much trouble.
Damn it, Vince, don't tell me not to lose my temper. Now, you can't tell me in a town with 8,000 cops and one all-points bulletin that you can't come up with one lead.
Look, when I know something, you'll know something. We're doing everything we can. And in the meantime, calm down.
Fine. Would you give me a call if something comes up?
You got it, buddy.
CJ, where the hell are you? CJ, where are you? Castanos?
I have her, Houston. Are you there, Houston? Do you hear me? Houston? I hear you. Do you know where I am? It closed since I went away. We can have it all to ourselves.
Amusement park.
Why not join me? Just you and CJ and me. Let us see what we can dream up for amusement.
Yeah, well, I'm going to join you there, Castanos.
Of course you are. Because you understand she's merely the bait for you. After you, I'll deal with her. And Houston, I think she's the one. This time, I think I'll find the soul. And Houston, alone. If I see the police, I start to work on her. I haven't had much practice. I can work very quickly. But then, of course, you know that.
Mr. Houston, I couldn't help overhearing.
Keep it under your hat, would you, Pam?
You have to tell Lieutenant Novelli.
Don't you worry about a thing. I will handle Lieutenant Novelli.
It's just that I'm scared. I've never seen you with a gun before.
No? Oh, you haven't. This is different.
I know you're here, Castanos. Why don't you come out and show yourself, huh?
Welcome, Houston. You're right on schedule.
Where is she, Castanos? If this is just between me and you, why don't we keep it that way, huh?
Look around you, Houston. I own all that you can see. And now, I own you. And later, I shall own her.
This won't take long, my dear. I'll be back soon. Don't fret now.
I didn't need him anymore, Houston. He would have spoiled it. Your police can find him later. It's just you and me now, Houston, as I promised. So, come ahead. I could have put that one right through your chest.
fired. You swore no cops.
You think I'd risk leaving her with you if anything happened to me?
I told you what I would do.
Let's roll. Move out! Take Castanos out if you can.
Keep shooting! Shoot! Shoot!
Houston, it's over! It's over! Nobody could have lived through that fire we just laid down!
Well, where's the body, Vince?
We'll find him! All right, you guys, check downstream. The rest of you guys fan out. That body's gotta be here someplace.
You all right?
Houston, is it over?
It's over.
Your shotgun, Houston. One shell left, but one is enough.
Now it's over. Oh, my God. He's still alive. Get an ambulance.
I ain't so fragile, I need to be mollycoddled.
I'll mollycockle you over my knee.
Wheelchairs are for babies. Besides, my head's what's got hurt, not my legs.
Welcome back. Hey, listen, how you feeling?
Now you listen to me, Senor Bo. You do as you're told and you behave. The doctor says you stay in the chair. You stay in the chair, capito? Ah.
Well, there he is. Come on out here. Hey, welcome back, buddy. Good to have you. How you doing?
Thank you. Oh, it's good to be back. Thank you. Thank you. These things are real.
Ah, he's so stubborn and ungrateful. I mean, he says he don't need no help.
That was this morning before these spells started to hit me. Every once in a while, I feel sort of faintish.
Yeah, well, I'll bet you it's nothing that something cold wouldn't take care of. You know, like a beer, right, girls?
Yeah, I believe you're right. If you angels of mercy would be so kind as just direct me right over to the beer, I sure appreciate it.
This way.
Thank you.
I'll tell you something, Mama. Sometimes I think that old boy's not as dumb as he looks.
Ay, ragione, Houston.
Yeah.
Ah! Get down in that chair.
No, I'll tell him.
CJ, what's the matter?
That was the hospital.
Castanos.
He woke up in the hospital ward, Houston. Laughed at them. The doctors. Said he was amazed they could think he'd ever die. Then he tried an escape. Dove through the window of the hospital room. He was on the 14th floor. It's over, Houston. He's dead.
Come here.
Better cock your pistols.
Stars. 400 billion in our galaxy alone. I'm awestruck whenever I consider the sheer enormity. And the irony is that we could ever suppose that there might not be other life out there.
We are all world-class scientists, Burke. You brought us out here to verify your alleged contacts. Are you instead going to subject us to a lecture from Astronomy 1?
They'll come. Conditions are right, they'll come.
We have been here 4 hours. I, for one, am very anxious to see what sort of trickery you have contrived. But let us get on with it.
How dare you?
This is me, Mardosian. You might fool these other puppies, but with me, you are out of your depth.
There. There, you see it? Mardoji. Ah, he's probably drunk.
What's the matter with him? I think so.
Passed out. He's dead. What?
Mr. Houston, yesterday, 5 scientists went into the desert on a somewhat extraordinary project. Those 5 scientists were not working together on this project. They are in competition for the Copernican Award. There is fierce jealousy among them. One of them, Dr. Ivar Mardosian, died.
I read something about that. It was a heart attack, wasn't it?
Yes, well, the fact is, not everything was in the papers.
You mean that there's a possibility that he didn't really have a heart attack, that maybe one of the other
The doctor has been autopsied, and the fact is, a heart attack did occur. But a heart attack can be induced by drugs or...
Excuse me, Ms. Eggstrom, but if in fact you do feel this way, perhaps you should talk to the police because they have resources.
There should be no police, no. The circumstances surrounding Mardosian's death cannot be made public. I must have your word that under no circumstances will you reveal any part of this conversation.
You got it. No,
Oh.
It is the allegation of the other scientists that Mardosian's heart attack took place during the first contact between us and extraterrestrial beings.
You mean like with yeah, little green ones, yeah.
As in little tiny creatures from outer space.
Yes, well, they did encounter something out there last night.
Little green
There
ones.
was something out there. Now, what the society wants you to do, Mr. Houston, is to prove it. Either way, verify the contact for us or prove that it was an incredible hoax staged to cover up his murder. You must be the judge.
Okay.
All through here. All through this entire area. It's low-level radiation, of course. Like footprints left behind, evidence of their passing. But Miss Ekstrom must have told you all this. See, they approached from there. Always from the same direction. Then they hovered. And then they disappeared. We were all over, gathered by the motorhome. Mardosian was near the tent. But imagine the moment, to be in their presence. It was like touching God.
Yeah, I'll bet. But listen, I understand everybody here the other night was in contention for the Copernican Award.
My husband talks about touching God, and you talk about trivia?
Well, it's hardly trivia. I mean, that is a pretty prestigious award. It was worth $100,000 in cash, not to mention millions in endowments. You get to be in the limelight, get the respect from your peers. It's a dandy award, yeah. Now, from what I understand, Mardosian was the front runner in the race for it.
No one can accept the fact that Mardosian just died. He was too big a man. Well, this was bigger than he was. Mr. Houston, maybe the Copernican Award would be worth killing for, but Carl wouldn't have to. This contact makes the award his. And we have that contact on film.
You mean to tell me everything that happened last night, you got it on film?
That's right. Slides. The contact, the camp people, everything. It's a scientific record.
Well, that makes me feel a little silly. I mean, if you've got all of it on film, then we've got a record of Mardosian's death.
Well, those slides are still in the lab being developed. But we have pictures of a contact of a few weeks back.
This is bewildering. We tell you we have pictures of beings from other worlds, and you wonder about Mardosian's death? Those pictures are worth 1,000 Mardosians. Or Houstons, for that matter.
Sure.
Grandma Houston would probably disagree with you on that.
The cameras are set up to electronically sweep the camp at random intervals. Now remember, these pictures are from a previous contact.
Here. Here they come.
Yeah, it just looks like lights in the sky to me. I mean, that could be anything.
Watch.
Ah, there. This is a craft hovering directly above our position. And the next frames, Mr. Houston, are probably the most significant photographs ever taken. These pictures were taken after the spacecraft landed.
Stop there. That, Mr. Houston, is an extraterrestrial being. On film. Incontrovertible proof of the first contact between men on Earth and beings from other worlds.
If you say so.
There. There's a head, an arm.
I can't see that.
They didn't come here to pose for portraits, damn it.
No, I'm sorry, but I can't see it. I mean, it could be an arm or a head.
All right. Tonight. You come here tonight.
Darling, please, please. It's supposed to be a top secret. The society doesn't want you to...
The society sent him here to prove this or call you a fraud. You come here tonight.
I'm projecting that conditions will be right. We'll make another contact. And I've asked everyone to be here.
If you met that face to face, would that cure your skepticism, Mr. Houston?
I'll be here. Okay, CJ, let's see the lineup of the people who were out at the camp that night.
Okay, Houston, starting with Ivar Mardosian, the deceased. Now, he is not your stereotype scientist with the glasses and the microscope. This one was referred to as the Rasputin of academia. As a matter of fact, he's a womanizer and a brawler, but tops in his field and first up for the Copernican Award, unless Carl Burke proves his claim that he had contact with extraterrestrial beings.
You mean if I wanted to know who had a good reason for wanting Mardosian dead, Burke would be a very good candidate?
He'd be first in line.
Now, what about Burke's wife? Now, I had a chat with them. Looks like she wears the shoulders in the family.
Well, she's a top photojournalist. I mean, she's dodged bullets in the Middle East. She's taken photographs of sharks in dangerous waters. She's a tough lady, as you say, but she knows the shot she wants to get, and she gets it.
Yeah, she gets the shot she wants. What about anything else she wants? Like maybe the Copernican Award for her husband?
It's possible. Now, this is Barbara Diane Newton. She's an internationally famous mathematical theoretician. Once upon a time, this girl didn't have a dime to her name, put herself through school with scholarships, and under the patronage of Mardosian. It's not a well-kept secret that her sponsorship by Mardosian was paid for favor. Now, this is Stu Glick. He is ingenious, he's ambitious, and he's one of the bright lights of the future in this area. He's the obvious heir apparent to Mardosian's crown and up for the Copernican Award. The question is, would he commit murder for the science prize?
Why don't I ask him?
Why don't you?
Mr. Houston, I don't know how I can help you. You see, it was on us, hovered over us. Then it was gone. Oh, I don't know of
I dig up that dirt.
You know why? It's because I have to.
Well, you didn't know Mardosian. He was dashing, his beard, his hat. He overwhelmed you. It didn't last very long. I was swept off my feet, sorry about it in the morning kind of thing. That's really all there was to it.
Well, did your husband know about it?
Doesn't the spouse always know? Maybe we're both just pretending it didn't happen, so it's easier to live with. If we're out in the open, then... I don't know. Carl is a very proud man. There's no telling what he might do.
Well, the problem is that sooner or later it's going to come up again. Somebody's going to bring it up. And, well, after all, your husband is responsible for bringing all the scientists out here the other night. And, well, they did all show up on his personal invitation. Mardosian did die under mysterious circumstances, and...
Are you intimating that my husband staged all of this to kill my lover? Mr. Houston, a lot of people hated Mardosian, including me.
Enough to kill him, maybe?
"5 hours is a long time to wait, but Houston was willing to spend the time if E.T. was going to visit.
Well, coffee's up. As exciting as this night hasn't been, it's that, or toothpicks to prop up eyelids. Anybody else? Ladies?
Something hot? Yes. Not for me, thanks.
We'll pass this down to Houston.
Thank you. Here, I'll take it.
Bless you.
Too much wind. We won't be making any contact tonight. So we might as well wrap it up.
Keep coming out of it, Houston. Come on. Attaboy. Attaboy, keep coming out of it. Houston, you've been scaring the pants off me. No, just lie back. Don't do anything now.
What about your pants?
Oh, good. At least you're human again.
Human again.
Well, Houston, the last hour you've been talking about little green men and spaceships, really very spooky stuff. Here.
The last thing I remember were some hands. They were reaching out for me. And my car went off the road.
Houston, they didn't find you near your car. You were wandering around on the road like you were drunk. Now, one of the policemen recognized you and called Vince Novelli, and he sent you back here.
Lights. These lights came up behind me, CJ, and they were following me, almost chasing me. They ran my car off the road, and they're these little tiny hands.
Houston, you're beginning to worry me. You've been talking like that ever since I tucked you into this couch.
CJ, what time did Vince Novelli's boys pick me up out on that road?
Early, about 6 a.m.
I left Burke's desert site at midnight. I lost 6 hours somewhere.
Well, Houston, in the state you were in, you could have lost 24 hours. It must have been quite a party.
CJ, I just drank coffee. That's all I drank. Somebody drugged my coffee, CJ. Somebody did not want me to get home in one piece. I've lost 6 hours, and I don't know where I lost them.
Houston, believe me, you fell asleep at the wheel, hit your head. You were hallucinating.
Was I, CJ? Now, I saw something, and it was there. I know it.
Houston, it's this case. We've been talking about extraterrestrials, UFOs. You thought it was happening. See, it's the power of suggestion.
No, CJ. No, it wasn't. It was out there. I saw it. It just appeared. It didn't make a sound at all. No, it just came in quiet. No sound. Now, what flies, CJ, without making a sound?
Vince Novelli.
Mama Novelli?
Yeah, listen, Mama, is Vince hiding out around there somewhere?
Ah, Houston. No, he's here. Un momento, eh? Vincenzo? Vincenzo? Telefono.
Hello.
Yeah, Vince, listen, are you still flying?
Still beating your wife?
What's that supposed to mean?
That's exactly my question.
No, Vance, I'm not getting personal. I'm asking you, are you still flying hot air balloons?
Why didn't you say so?
I just did.
Yeah, when I can find the time. Why?
Because I have to ask you a question. Now, is it possible to fly one of those hot air balloons at night and navigate to a specific spot and then just kind of stand still and hover?
Houston, that's stupid.
Yes, it is, Vance. It's stupid, but is it possible?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, the hovering is the tricky part. The only guy I know would have a prayer is Marcel Dejean. He's a French champion.
Yeah, I'll bet you he's in town right now.
Yeah, he's in town for the Trans Am balloon race. How do you know?
Some little green man told me, Vance.
You... Oh.
Vince.
Hi, CJ. How's Houston this morning?
Well, now that's a good question. Let me be honest with you. I'm a little concerned about him. He's been talking about little green men with little tiny hands. Now, that's not like him.
Hi, Houston. Did you take the pledge this morning?
Thanks, Vince.
Now, what about what Houston was saying? To navigate to one spot without sound and hover there. It could be done?
Yeah.
Like I told you on the phone. The only guy I'd know would have a prayer is Marcel Dejean.
Where do I get a hold of him?
His rig should be right over there.
I think I'll have a chat with him. Excuse me, I tell you something, you are just the man I need to see. Hold on, could you talk to me for a minute? I understand you're a world champion balloonist.
Stand back, I'm about to fly.
Well, I know this will only take a couple of minutes. See, I had to ask you some questions. Now, I'm an amateur, and I was wondering, now, how can you make a balloon just kind of, well, sit still in midair, you know, like hover? I need some pointers.
I don't give pointers.
Well, come on, take a couple of minutes now. I understand that you're the only man in these parts that could make a balloon do those kind of things. Well, it's almost like a UFO.
Out of my balloon.
It's a little late for that. Wait, you're trying to kill me.
No violence. No violence. American. No sense of humor.
I'll show you a sense of humor as soon as we get back down on the ground. It's kind of like the way a hound dog goes after a bone.
Wait! I was only taking off.
Oh, would you come off it now, champ? Now, there was a man killed the other night when you pulled your little UFO stunt out at Burke's place. Now, you're flying yourself straight to jail.
I'm paid to pull off a little joke for that professor, and you're talking jail?
Wait a minute. You mean the professor paid you to pull that UFO stunt?
No, not Burke, his wife. She arranged everything.
Yeah, well, now it's all beginning to make sense.
She gave me $5,000. You think it's a lot of money, I know, but not to do what only I can do.
Just keep going, all right?
Balloons are leaves on the wind. These prevailing winds blow out into that desert. But to pose in flight, I had to invent a machine. Like a great fan. To make the craft hover. And then there was rigging the arc lights and the amplifying horns to broadcast the sound.
Yeah, fine. That's all great. But would you tell me something? Now, why'd you chase me in your balloon last night?
I didn't.
What do you mean you didn't? You didn't chase me down the road from Burke's place last night?
Not only didn't I do it, but it can't be done. That's a winding road out there. No balloonist can regulate his speed and direction to follow a car along that road. Not even I. And I can make a balloon dance.
And listen, if you didn't follow me down that road last night, then who did, huh? Oh, boy. As long as we're out here, you suppose you could dance this thing over to Burke's place? Burke? I don't believe anybody's home. Their car's here. Mr. Burke! Mr. Burke! Matt Houston! God, that's gas. Needs a little air. Set field phone, call an ambulance.
Mr. Burke.
You don't bother. He's not in there. You know, I'll bet you somebody turned on this gas while she was sleeping.
can you hear me? This is emergency. Hello, hello. Hello, I need an emergency ambulance. Ambulance.
The sheriff's station. We hear you loud and clear.
Run that by me again?
The door was locked. And like you, I heard the propane gas. I went around looking through the windows, and I thought she was dead.
That is not what I asked you.
When I saw the balloon, I didn't know who you were. And I thought it would look bad because I didn't want to be seen. So I panicked. I don't know what I was thinking.
Would you tell me why you ran?
I cannot take the scandal, all right? Everyone knew about my relationship with Mardosian, and he is dead. And now I thought that Cheryl was dead. There's nothing more I could do to help her. I am up for tenure at the university. I am up for the Copernican Award.
What's going on out here? Yeah, we passed an ambulance coming in. Is anybody hurt?
Mr. Burke, your wife was in that ambulance. It seems that the gas was left on in motorhome.
We left her napping. Oh, my God.
No, Mr. Burke, listen, it's fine. She's gonna be all right, just fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, she's fine. She's taken care of, okay? Just relax. Now, I've got to ask you a couple of questions. Now, where were you just before you got here?
I was at the lab picking up the slides of the sighting.
Yeah, are these the slides of the sighting the same night that Mardosian was killed?
That night, yes. And that's why I called everybody here so they could see the slides.
Yes, he called me early this morning.
Yeah. So, with these slides, if they're anything like the other ones, they're going to be able to show us the various different camera angles of the movements that went on in the camp that night, you know, in the so-called sighting.
So-called? These slides are a complete scientific record.
I'm sure they are, yeah. But they also might give us a good picture of how Mardosian was killed.
Not to mention my balloon artistry.
And what does that mean?
You mean he doesn't know? He didn't know the whole thing was staged?
It was his wife's idea. She paid me. Still, we have met, yes.
It was a hoax? Why, Burke, you phony old Dickens, you.
Carl, you have spent years pursuing this line of research. You've compromised your whole life's work.
I have seen them. They are out there. I have made contact. But the scientific community needed proof. And proof takes sitting out on a desert. Proof takes money. Cheryl thought that with the money from the Copernican Award, we could make things happen. They're here, I swear it. They're here. They're here.
Fine. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sure they are. They're here. I tell you what, why don't we just take a look at these slides, all right?
You're not going to see anything on these slides. Mardosian's dead. And now with Carl and his wife pulling that fraud, well, it's down to you and me for the Copernican Award.
Shut up, Stuart.
May the best man win.
Hold it. Hold it a minute.
Do you see something?
That's Mardosian, isn't it? Yeah, I know it's very hard to make out because it's blurry, but...
It's Mardosian.
Now, a couple of slides back, there was something in the corner. That's it. Look at that. That hand. Now, it's got a wire, and it's touching it to his ankle. Now, the autopsy showed that Mardosian had the same identical burn on his ankle. I will bet you that the other end of that wire leads to a generator.
Electric shock caused Mardosian's heart attack. It's a man's hand.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to tell.
No, it's a man's hand.
We know for sure that it's a class ring, and I think all we have to do is just blow it up a little bit to tell which one it is. Why don't you tell us what school he went to, Glick? Save us the trouble of blowing that up.
Hold it! Hold it! You had to keep digging and digging, didn't you? I should have killed you the first time you came up here.
So that was you that was shooting at me from behind those rocks?
Of course it was me. Who'd you think it was? I wanted to make sure that you didn't buy that heart attack. I knew you would investigate. I knew you'd find out it was a hoax. After that, there should have been only one answer. That Burke staged the whole thing to kill Mardosian over his wife.
It might have been a very good reason, but tell me something. Why did you kill him?
Because I was sick and tired of being in his shadow. That's why I killed him. You know what a difference that award would make for the rest of my life? Do you?
So, you got tired of being the protege, huh? That's right, and you couldn't wait for him to retire.
They would have gone on forever. Retire. I had the whole thing figured out perfectly. Perfectly. Except the question mark was that film. It was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot, but I had to figure out what was on that film. I had to find out for myself. Oh, the angles. The cameras couldn't have possibly recorded those angles.
That's right. See, I have a little confession to make. I told my associate, Murray, to doctor up a couple of those slides, and we paid off the lab boys to slip them in with Burke's badge.
How did you know?
You see, I really didn't know, but I had to take a chance. You see, I knew you all wore the same college class rings, but I took a 50-50 chance, used a man's hand. I went fishing, Glick, and you took the bait.
Under other circumstances, I would tip my hat to you.
What are you going to do to us?
Take at least a day or so, if you're lucky, to get out of this desert. By then I'll be in Mexico. Better yet,
No, please.
you, come with me.
No?
Come on.
Don't.
Listen, now, if I'm to get this thing down on the ground, I'm certainly gonna need it's a big cliff. It's coming quick.
How far off the ground are we?
1,000 feet, maybe.
If we hit the cliff, the balloon shreds, we drop like a stone. Throw off the ballast.
Step ballast.
Turn up the burner.
Burner.
We're close to the cliff.
We're about 20 feet. Well, it's 15. Oh, we made it. So how bad is that?
I have to be all right. I won't give him the satisfaction of dying.
Vive la France.
Vive le Houston.
Yeah.
There's the Big Dipper. And the Little Dipper. There's Capricorn. And if you look, you can almost see the stinger on Scorpio's tail.
Murray, you don't need a telescope to appreciate the stars. There's just something about the stars. I don't know, something to dream on.
Yeah, something to wish on. CJ, you see that brightest star right up there? They call that the wishing star.
Houston, if you could make a wish, what would it be?
Well, I think I'd wish that I knew for certain what that was following me down the road the other night.
Oh, Houston, we've been all through that. I mean, those police helicopter patrols go up and down that road all the time.
CJ, this was not a police helicopter. I mean, they make noise, and this thing didn't make a sound. CJ, I saw things. I mean, those hands reaching out for me, and the men, the little tiny men.
That batter could have been the lights of an oncoming car, especially in your condition.
Face it, CJ. Houston had a close encounter. ET, UFOs, all that stuff. Consider yourself lucky, cowboy. You could have been beamed aboard an alien spacecraft. What would you have done then?
Phoned home.